right, everyone, welcome back to the Shuffle. Let's do our previous week recap before we get into the new week and shout out to our winner this week, which was Corey. Corey had a great ticket. He was 5-1 plus 8.85 units. Um, the last couple weeks he's been putting in, I don't want to call it the stack method, maybe the ladder method is a better way to put it, but it's been a ticket that's like person to get receiving yards, to get a touchdown, and then to get a second touchdown. And so this week he was riding the Rams and he was riding Puka Nakua and he hit a lot of those legs. And so he was 5-1, but as a group we had a really good week. We were Nick was 3-3, plus 4 units. Dalton, same, plus 4 units. I was plus 2 units. Aaron was plus 2 units. Jamie broke even. Stone broke even. David and Shay down there at the bottom. But this was one of our best weeks of the season. We had our first percentage positive week. We were 28-26, and we added 15.2 units to our total, which takes us to the season at 300 wins and then 431 losses at minus 75 units. So we bought ourselves some space there, not to go over 100 too quick. But a great week, best week we've had this year. By a long shot. I think our highest week this year has been plus 1 unit, and so 15 times higher than our last week. So congratulations, great week. Hope everyone cashed on that. And then let's get into our season rankings because I'm gonna officially call this a three-man race right now. So Corey's been hot. Corey, he's won 2 out of the last 3 weeks, and he's won. Um, 3 total weeks for the season, starting that week 5 with that Jamar Chase 2 touchdowns. But with that, he put himself back in the positive units, and so our leaderboard this week is Dalton has 36 wins. He has plus 9 units. Nick, he has 36 wins. He has plus 8 units. Corey has 34 wins. He has plus 4 units, right? So those are the people that are in the positive. I would say they're kind of in, a little bit of a three-man race there. And then right below that, you probably take a week or two to catch Dalton at 10, 11, maybe more units away. Myself, Stone, David, right there below the negatives, and then Aaron, Jamie, Shay probably need 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks to catch back up unless they kind of hit a bomb. But yeah, Dalton is still leading, but Dalton's lead is 0.45 units, and so this is going to be a tight one. And of course, Corey's only a couple units behind Nick and Dalton. So anything can happen, especially if we get one of these leaders those up an 0 for 6, or if someone gets the 6-0. We still haven't had a 6-0, but we are probably headed towards the most competitive finish we've ever had here in the shuffle. Um, and so with that, let's kind of pivot over to our reaches of the week or our positive bets. So we had 11. 11's pretty high. I didn't check and see how it fits in with everything else, but if there was what are we at? We've had 14 weeks. We only had 84 positive hits. So I would think this is the highest we've ever had for volume for the season. And we had a couple really good ones. So we put in 6, 7, and 8 overall for the season. Corey had the Nakua 2+ touchdowns. Dalton had a Zacchaeus touchdown at plus 500. Nick had a Broncos defensive special teams anytime touchdown. Very interesting. Those three are still the top three. So anyway, very competitive week there. Nick had another one. Harvey, 25 rushing each half. Corey, Puka most receiving. And then there's a couple offensive, defensive, and such. I could say there is a lot of Nakua on the board. I'll be interested once the season's over. I'll kind of give us a big recap. It'll be interesting to see who like our favorite bets were. But Nakua's got to be up there. Additionally, Zacchaeus somehow finds his way onto everybody's board, and Dalton hit that anytime touchdown, so I thought that was interesting. Um, I think that's all I have to say about that. All right, let's do best of category. So not a lot of changes here. Corey was leading the spread last week. He's 9-5 now. Stone leading an over under last week. He's 10-3 now. David was leading in best of bet category at 23 and 19. Those three have stayed the same, but now Corey has reclaimed the reach title. So he takes the reach back. I think it was Dalton last week. Could be mistaken about that, but and he actually has three of the top six reaches of the season. And interestingly enough, they're all 2+ touchdowns. So the last 2 years, our highest picks on that um, were actually first touchdowns. So it seems like things have shifted now to 2+ rather than first touchdown. Um, or maybe we just haven't hit any of those yet. And then, yeah, let's do worst of category, the fun part. No changes here. Like I said, David and Shay have kind of cemented themselves. It would be hard for someone to take over these categories, but David 3-11 spread, David 4-10 over under, and then Shay 9-33 on best of bet. Shay 2-12 on reach. That's actually pretty close. So you could probably win another one of those and kind of get himself out of there. But um, just a couple of weeks left. Yeah, it's I yeah, I was doing the spreadsheet for this and the spreadsheet for our podcast with Stone and Jamie, and I was kind of sitting there thinking like, man, it's crazy how quick things come to an end here for the NFL. Like last week was the last week for like, a full college slate. And it wasn't really even a full college slate, it was just championship week. But now we have 4 weeks left. So if you are sitting in there, if you're a little bit down, if 40 units behind, 20 units behind, uh, now's the time to start getting your shots in, right? Shoot or shoot. So try to, if you can put yourself in position, or if you find some stuff that's going to put you over the next 2 or 3 weeks to kind of make a comeback, I'm anticipating this to be a pretty competitive finish here. So that's all I got to say about that. Um, no buys this week, 15 total games. Uh, I know the video is coming out early, but we only have the Sunday games on the slate and the Monday night. So I'm not going to random it 11 times. I don't know if that would be asking a lot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to random it 5 times for the 5 reaches that we hit in the top 40 this week, which is a pretty high number considering there's 18 weeks. So with that, we'll do random 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's see what we got. So Aaron got Sunday night, Minnesota Dallas. That well, we'll see. I think the Commanders made 9 look pretty good last week, but we'll see. Um, I got Buffalo New England. That's a great game. Baltimore Cincinnati. Nick, he's a Baltimore fan, and Dalton got Chargers Kansas City. So there are some games in there that mean some stuff. I don't think they're all duds. So um, yeah, should be a good week. Should be if we didn't get the Monday night. I was thinking maybe that'll be it. So I don't have anything administrative. I'm gonna keep things rolling. Like I said last week, I think we have new people that want to join. I think we have new strategies for the weekly winners. And I think everything's heading in the right direction. We haven't had any shame recently. So, with that being said, I just appreciate everyone's time and effort, and I'm thankful for that. And I will see everybody next week.